Well, here I am, back again, ready to grace the site with more of my mediocrity. With more variety packs, let's just jump on in. So most gaming guides are pretty dry. They're usually there to inform rather than entertain, but sometimes you can do both. Tierzoo hasn't been around for too long, but his idea is so clever I'm surprised it hasn't been a thing before. His premise may not look like much at first glance. Basically just takes nature documentary footage and adds life parts to them, kind of like those dank meme videos. But he then takes the entire animal kingdom and creates an entire tier system to categorize them, using all the typical gamer lingo like nerf and buff. And he does this by being completely serious in his delivery. But I guess it just kind of adds to the irony. Plus, there's a decent bit of edutainment subtly crammed into each video. If he wasn't spoofing such a niche medium as gaming guides, this would probably make for a pretty decent show on Animal Planet or Discovery Channel. You know, if old media was still relevant.
Because in my opinion, side necks are at a huge disadvantage, because putting your neck off to the side leaves your weak point very exposed. The neck is one of the most well-known weak points in the game. Every DPS main knows to go for the throat if possible, so by leaving it exposed, you're placing yourself in serious danger. Side neck players are aware of this drawback and have two different ways they try to compensate. The first is by putting more points into the shell skill tree, extending the shell forward. This makes it much less likely that an imprecise attack will land on the turtle's neck.
Now, Frankomatic is a guy I've been hoping to talk about for a while. The guy's a dinosaur like myself, been around since '06. His main draw is that he plays old obscure games, though his biggest draw for me is his laid-back demeanor and overall lack of over-the-top vulgarity, at least in some of his more current stuff. My first and also one of my favorite videos of his was his Panic playthrough, a surreal Sega CD game where a computer virus infects every piece of technology in existence. His deadpan response to the absurd visuals makes for a funny juxtaposition.
Mowing the lawn, I guess. Let's see this thing again with the weird unlabeled buttons. Society must be hell to deal with it. That is just awesome. I would pay for a lawnmower dog, man. He doesn't seem too thrilled about it, though.
He sometimes brings his wife on as well. They both have really good chemistry. She's not your typical backseat gamer, like you see in other gameplay vids. So if you're looking for a more classic lo-fi YouTuber, give him a watch.
Billy is the only one who can use the slingshot, so...
Only children know how to use a slingshot. Thus has spoken Dennis the Menace.
You get the frying pan.
Because she's the only woman with a name.
She is the only one who can use it.
So Darkness the Curse got his start as a YouTube ranter around 2007 or '08. Originally he was a part of a site called Gaming Palooza, but due to falling out with the members he promptly left for greener pastures. He was one of the big names at the time, next to folks like Big Al, 2K6, and Helsing 920. Think of YouTuber ranters back then as the Rat Pack. You know, you have Big Al as Frank Sinatra, Helsing was Dean Martin, and Darkness was Joey Bishop. You know, the literally who of the entire group. Honestly, didn't really bring much to the table, aside from the usual loudmouth ranting and swearing seen by a lot of the low-grade reviewers at the time. But this time with just a little bit of goth edge.
Now, I just want to stop and say, holy shit, guys. Look at this picture. Like, just look at this guy. I can poke holes in his origin story, and I can say that Vector Man is not exactly the most plot-driven game in the world, but if there was ever a time I would say one picture sums up a compelling villain, it is this image, right here. He just looks like he's about to come to your house and knock it the fuck down, because he doesn't give a goddamn shit. Anyway, Warhead uses his power to control the other Orbots and orders them to prepare for when the humans return, so they can just destroy them. Because look at this guy, he doesn't give a shit.
And what did a 14-year-old me think of him? I couldn't get enough of his vids back then. No accounting for good taste, I suppose. Over the years, Darkness would continue to languish until around 2009 or so, after upsetting a lot of fans with his swine flu rant. He took down his account under the guise of losing his legs in an accident. I swear you can't make this stuff up. He then created a new account, back in 2012, and has since mellowed out. Apparently he's been in a really bad divorce, but that's neither here nor there. Even though his videos haven't aged all that well, I hope things look better for him in the future. Anyways, once again, I want to thank all of you for sticking around this long, and I will see you next time. And no, I'm probably not going to make a video about the whole Channel Awesome Google Docs information that's been released. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of doing that just to jump on the bandwagon. I'm sure some people care about getting the message out and exposing Mike Machad or whoever it was, and all the other people involved with like the grooming and the sexual harassment and all the other bad things that were going on over at Channel Awesome. But I feel like most people are just kind of, like I said, riding another clickbait trend. So call me cynical, but I just don't. It doesn't feel right in my heart to just kind of join in on this. I hope that everyone involved gets closure. I just want to say a quick prayer that Heavenly Father allow all the people in Channel Awesome to be released of any afflictions or any pain that they may have incurred. I just want you to know that even though they may not believe in you, that your son died for them. He shed his blood and was raised for them, that they will no longer live in their sins. And yeah, just keep the faith.